I think, that was pretty fun to be part of. It was a little rough at the start. We were a little nervous. We had a hard time, I guess, getting a ball to shape in any kind of meaningful way. But I felt like deep down that if we were able to calm ourselves and we had the opportunity to calm ourselves, that we would make that a match. And I kept telling them that something good's going to happen. Something good's going to happen. And, we won game 3. We sort of joked that we didn't get swept, because we were just trying to keep it sort of lighthearted. The sky wasn't going to fall. And, I sort of thought we had some momentum, and then we lose game, and then we go down 3-1. And then the eyes sort of start looking like, whoa, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. And we were saying, I think we have them right where we want them. And it's a very tough position to be in, Baker, like in a regular season event, when you're sort of up 3-1 and you sort of feel like you've already won something. If a team starts putting the pressure on, you can start playing defense pretty quickly. And it's very hard to stop backpedaling once you start. And I felt like, we just kept applying pressure, and, we were able to somehow pull it off.
Congratulations on a great season. I don't think you guys finished below third place in any tournament all year. I think that's pretty impressive. Talk about that. Talk about how that helped you guys lead into this. And then also winning the first NCAA championship here in Las Vegas. I know it's your third, but like the first one here in Las Vegas for women's sports.
I would say not finishing lower than third in any of the rest of our season tournaments was a pretty big confidence booster for us going into this tournament. That essentially means that you finish in the top 4 at every tournament through qualifying, and then you win a couple matches. And for us to come into this tournament with that record, that shows us that we can put shots together both in qualifying and in head-to-head match play. And I think we just needed to trust ourselves and know that we could get it through. Jen, winning a national championship in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of our team has history here in this center especially. I know I'm a fan of this center, but I know a lot of the other girls are really comfortable here as well. So I think falling back on that and everything that we've built up to this season really helped with our confidence.
Jennifer, let's stick with you for a minute. MVP of the tournament. You didn't have a lot of minutes coming in, to the tournament, and then the energy that you brought just showed through the TV and everyone to this team. Talk about leading off, bringing the energy, and finishing with the MVP.
I don't even know where to start because I honestly didn't think it would happen. I knew coming into this tournament that I felt like I was going to have a shot at the lineup just because, again, I love this center. Like, this is essentially like my second home. And so just having that confidence really helped. And I feel like even when I competed, mostly my freshman year, I really brought the energy and just sort of tried to stick with that dynamic.
Coach, from the very beginning, it seemed like you were willing to make pretty big lineup changes. What was going through your mind with bringing in Amanda and then switching up Victoria there?
I think it's more or less just, you can, scared money doesn't win, I guess, if we're in Vegas, right? So if you're not afraid to do something different, like, you're just going to have the same result. And I felt like, we sort of talked in that thing, what's the worst that can happen? Well, we're in the worst that can happen. Like, it can't get any worse than what we're doing right now. And so, more or less, we put Amanda in with an idea that it would change just sort of the energy, the vibe. Not that Alyssa did anything wrong. She was nervous. Everyone was nervous. So it wasn't just like she wasn't the only one that was nervous. Maybe Jen wasn't nervous, but everybody else was pretty nervous. And so, we inserted Amanda with the idea that it would sort of change the mojo of the settee, and it did.
And then, Mabel, after the Nebraska game, I asked Coach what you meant to this program. So I'll turn the question around and I'll ask what this program has meant to you over the last 4 years.
I mean, bowling has been my world for the last 4 years, and so have my teammates. Really my teammates more than anything. And this group is one that I knew from the beginning that we were special. We clicked both on the lanes and off the lanes. And to be successful at the end of the year, you have to have a team that is working together, working their hardest throughout the year, of course, but when we get here, when it comes down to the shots that we need, we have each other's backs. And that is what I felt the most strongly this past year, and especially out there in our best of 7. So it's meant the world to me.
Mabel, this is for you. You stepped up today in a couple really big spots. Talk about that 310 and what went through your mind, and how did you ease yourself to step up there to make that spare?
Yeah, so I would just like to say that the 310 and the 3610 are my enemies all the time. Every time in practice when we are shooting spares and we get the chance to you pick a spare, make whatever you want, make 8 of them. I have always picked the 310 and the 3610 because it has just been, I've been bowling for like 11 plus years, and it's still so hard for me to make that spare. And after conference, when we were bowling against Youngstown and I missed a 3-6 and they made a split and they won conference, I had a long talk with the other senior, Amelia Kiefer, and I was like, this is my problem spare. I know it's going to come up in the moment that we need it. That's how it always works. Whenever you need it, it's your worst fear. It's so annoying how that works. But so Mel and I put our heads together and we said, okay, what I need to focus on for the 310, the 3610 is my push away and getting my feet started off right. And so if you go back to the video and to the live feed and you can listen, Mel's telling me feet and push away, and as I stand up on the approach, I'm telling myself push away, because that was all I was focusing on to make that spare. Wasn't focusing on, if we make this spare, we go to a best of 7 or anything. Just right here in front of me, focus on my push away, and I'll make it. And our team will take it from there.
And that was the biggest spare we've had in our program, by far. We've not made a spare like that in that situation like in 19 years.
A question for each of you, Jennifer. You talk about how much you enjoy bowling at this center. What did you see differently? Because a lot of times the differences on the left side lane can be very intricate, but going from one side of the building to the other and going from just a normal day's work to the TV lights, what did you feel might have been a little different out there?
Being honest, just being exposed to this place so much, I felt like no matter what, if I get it in a general area, it was going to be a good result. And so just sort of falling back on that, having confidence in myself for repeating shots really helped, and it evidently showed.
Yeah.
Mabel, I heard one of your teammates say something about keep your hand position strong before a few of your shots. Can you tell us exactly what that means?
Yeah, so sometimes I get a little flippy with my hand, and so basically that just means when I'm setting up, making sure that my wrist is in a strong position and that everything is aligned up here and in my hand, pretty much. Because I know that if I get my hand in a good position with a strong wrist, then I'll be able to throw a pretty good shot. That's what it means. So just a reminder to me every shot.
I've got a couple questions. I'm not sure who wants to answer, maybe either one of our bowlers, but talk about the difference under the lights, the TV timeouts, as far as, I don't know, the rhythm and all, markedly different than this morning when we were shooting 1,100. Did that impact our scores? What do you think?
Okay. I would say all of us under the TV lights definitely felt nervous. It wasn't like this, like jittery nervousness. It was just like the lane looks different, and our balls aren't quite reacting how we're used to. You know, the South Point has the super bright lights, and it's great because you can see the arrows and see the ball down lane, but with the TV lights, there's just so much glare that it's hard to get comfortable. And I mean, what Coach and Josie were just saying to us is that, like, it's our time. You get comfortable, we get in the right part of the lane, and just be ourselves.
And as for the timeouts, it was definitely different. But I felt like our process was the same, and I think it actually helped because we had time to huddle and regroup and talk to each other. And also in that time when Rick was like, 1 minute, and I'd be like, oh my God, that's so much time. So then we'd meet again, and then we just have fun conversations because that's who we are.
I'll add something. What I said in one of the previous interviews was that what our team was going to do is we were going to stay within ourselves, we were going to stay present, and I really think those breaks gave us the time, like Jen said, during those huddles to just refocus and bring it back to our team. It's just us on this one lane trying to figure it out. So I think it helped us.
Question for the coach. It appeared that Victoria settled down as the match went on. Was there anything particular said to her to get her back to herself?
I mean, nothing earth-shattering. You know, I think that Victoria is very hard on herself. She has very high expectations. You know, and so sometimes, like, your greatest asset can also be your worst enemy. And, you know, and so for us, she wasn't very comfortable to start. She wasn't making good shots. So then she was getting a little frustrated, which wasn't allowing, like, good shots. And so, you know, basically what we were talking about is, like, the things that you're doing right now are the only things that can help us. Like, if she wants to be frustrated, if she wants to be whatever, like, you can do that in the hotel. But right now, like, the only thing you need to be doing are things that can be helpful. And she knows that, like, that being frustrated isn't going to help her performance. And so, you know, she threw a couple good shots. She started seeing it, and then she got comfortable. And then, I mean, she's good enough. She can light it up when she's feeling it.
For Jennifer, you mentioned being comfortable here in this arena. I guess just talk about the entire experience from landing here, knowing that you've been here before, and then, you know, just now and bowling somewhere that you're comfortable in.
Yeah, I bowled main event here in December. I always bowl that tournament. It's one of my favorite things. It's something I always look forward to. And then we came back a couple weeks later, right after team trials, and bowled a team tournament here. And I didn't really get to play much during that time. And so since then, I've really found myself trying to get comfortable in places where I'm not so great at. And that's something that we've had a conversation as a team. And I've had my teammates behind me and sort of helped me get to that point. And as soon as I got here and as soon as the practice session hit and as soon as I found a line on the gutter, I'm like, all right, we're settled. This is good. This is home.
Coach, it looked like at some point as the match progressed, looked like you made kind of 3 ball changes. It looked like maybe you switched balls with Victoria, and then you made a switch to a ball that I don't know if I've seen Mabel throw at all this week. Maybe 1 or 2 times, and then it looked like you made a ball change with Caroline also. Talk about why that came into play and where that strategy came from.
Well, I mean, Arkansas can carve up a lane pretty good, and they were a little further left than us. And as we started moving, you could see our stuff was picking up, and like we could have probably kept moving left, but then we were going to start getting into a little bit more of the puddle, and there wasn't a whole lot of room to miss. And so, you know, she's very familiar with the logics. That's one of her favorite balls, of one of the best balls of 2017.
Farther back.
But you know, like, it was more about just trying to get them comfortable, and a lot of times it's not necessarily really anything strategic. It's more about putting a different ball in their hand, and then they get a different sort of mindset that comes with it, and then then miraculously they throw it better, they get a better reaction, and as everything works out. So Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
One more question to, like, you were talking about Arkansas and how they carve up the lanes. It seems like it doesn't allow you guys to get far enough left, because then you get into too much push. Is it just about controlling the pocket then and making the best shots?
Yeah, the one thing that Josie sort of reiterated over and over and over and over again this weekend, and especially in this match, was to control the 1-3. If we can control the 1-3, then it's amazing what happens, like, to your score and also to, like, your opponents if you're just relentlessly pounding the pocket. And we were able to do that as the match went on, and good things happen.
We kind of ran into the end of the match, but Jennifer, you left a couple corner pins at the end. What would your next adjustment have been?
Definitely talk to Josie. I made one move that whole match, and that was half board right. And so I'd probably just shift it over a little bit more.
Maybe get around it more.
Yeah.
Well, I said it out there, but I just want to really thank our administration. I want to thank Chancellor Diermeyer. I want to thank Dr. Candace Lee, our athletic director. I want to thank Dr. Christine Kelly, our senior women's administrator who oversees bowling. The entire Vandy United family. You guys have done some amazing things. There's a lot of things in store from Vanderbilt that are going to be really good in the next few years, and we can't thank you guys enough for allowing us to compete at a level like this. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.